John Calipari has a message for his team, and it was change your ways or we're going to continue to lose. They lost again last night to unranked Tennessee. What's going on with this team?
Yeah, 14 turnovers and 14 assists. And I think that that's not a number that's going to equal a lot of wins over the long haul. I think that what John Calipari is experiencing, that a lot of blue chip programs experience, is you go and recruit these outstanding five-star athletes that are all scorers. They come to college thinking they are going to be the scorer on their team. Now, when you have that mentality, especially with young players, and John Calipari, you can just see the look on his face. Look, he's coaching these guys that it's a team concept here at Kentucky. You're not in an AAU team anymore. It's not high school anymore. To emphasize defense sometimes is hard for young players to grasp. And I think that that is partly what you're seeing. I believe Tennessee shot 53% in the game last night. And that's going to be hard to limit teams and to come away with wins when they're doing that. And also taking the ball to the rim. The defensive end is really where I think Kentucky is struggling to kind of fight through that right now. And we'll see here over the course of the next 7-8 weeks if they can get it together.
Of these three losses of the top four teams, which one do you think was the worst that hurt the resume the most?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say Villanova. I think there's a benefit of the doubt given to teams in the Big 12, given to teams like a Kentucky. There's a benefit of the doubt that those conferences, night in, night out, are more consistent over the long haul. I would say the loss probably by Villanova. If you're talking about of the three losses, I think that one may affect them the most.
Interesting. Yeah, it's the other thing I was thinking about too is Steve Wojciechowski, along with Chris Collins, two former Dukies, have really helped their programs get some big wins here of late. And it'll be interesting to see. At some point here, Coach K is going to retire. And when he does, who is going to get that job? Because you have those two guys. Then you have Quinn Snyder, who was his right-hand man, who is got to be in that conversation for NBA Coach of the Year with the Utah Jazz. It's going to be interesting. Any thoughts there on who might eventually be, or who you think is the lead guy to replace Coach K?
I mean, it's a good. I think it's a good testament to what Coach K has been able to do. Michael, I know you're familiar with Quinn Snyder's last run in college basketball at Missouri and how it came to an unfortunate end for him. But I mean, he paid his dues, went to the D League. I mean, as a Utah, I mean, the guy that has kind of stuck to it and paid his kind of his penance to the coaching society in his penalty, and could be an option. I think it's good for those three coaches if indeed that time comes. Can you imagine the current school where they set when Coach K does decide to retire and these three names come up, and the potential raises and the back and forth financially could be rewarding, and to be able to take over or take the keys to a program. But, I don't know. Do you want to be the guy that follows the guy? I mean, look at Coach Guthridge at North Carolina. It didn't work. It took, Roy Williams to kind of come in to get the program back on track again and be a national competitor year in and year out. So, it could be interesting to see when that time comes. There's certainly going to be a lot of options and no shortage of coaches wanting that.